Email domain management, keeping your outreach legit. Why email domain management just got real. Email domain management isn't an IT side quest anymore. It's a core outbound competency. When roughly 46 to 47% of global email traffic is classified as spam, mailbox providers treat every unfamiliar sender as guilty until proven innocent. That means even strong SDR teams can lose inbox placement if their domains, authentication, and sending patterns look even slightly risky. At the same time, Gmail and Yahoo have raised the floor for anyone sending at scale, with stricter bulk sender expectations around authentication, unsubscribe functionality, and complaint rates. If you're generating pipeline through an outbound sales agency motion, whether in-house or via sales outsourcing, your deliverability rules now need to be as explicit as your call scripts and objection handling. In this guide, we'll connect the technical pieces, domains, DNS, SPF/DKIM/DMARC, to the sales outcomes you care about, opens, replies, meetings, and brand protection. We'll also show how we approach this at SalesHive, where we operate like a cold email agency and sales development agency rolled into one, without putting clients' primary domains at risk. Deliverability is a revenue lever, not a vanity metric. B2B cold email benchmarks can look encouraging on the surface, around 27.7% opens and 5.1% replies when campaigns are executed well. The trap is that delivered does not mean seen, and inbox placement can quietly slide while your team assumes the market is just getting tougher. When domain reputation is weak, research commonly cited in deliverability circles suggests roughly 1 in 6 emails may fail to reach the inbox due to filtering and reputation issues. That's not a marketing problem. It's a pipeline efficiency problem because you're paying for data, list building services, copy, and SDR time while providers throttle your visibility. A simple way to make this real for leadership is to translate deliverability into effective volume and effective replies, not just sends. Not just sends. The table below is a practical lens we use when forecasting outbound impact for an outsourced sales team or a fast-growing internal SDR agency-style function. Designing a domain strategy that protects your brand. The foundational strategy is separation. Keep your primary corporate domain for critical business mail and run cold outreach from authenticated secondary domains or subdomains. This is one of the cleanest ways to protect brand deliverability for invoices, customer comms, and executive conversations while still letting your outbound sales agency motions scale. At SalesHive, we typically implement branded lookalike domains for outbound, configured correctly and routed back to the main website so prospects can verify legitimacy quickly. The goal isn't to be sneaky, it's to isolate risk, distribute volume, and maintain consistent sending identities that can build positive engagement signals over time. A common mistake is using one domain for everything and then turning up volume when meetings dip. Another is spinning up random throwaway domains that don't resemble the brand, which can reduce trust and increase complaints. If you want scale without burn, use a small set of brand-adjacent sending domains and treat them like production infrastructure, not disposable assets. Authentication that passes, SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. Mailbox providers increasingly judge legitimacy through authentication and alignment, especially at bulk volumes. SPF confirms which servers can send for your domain, DKIM cryptographically signs messages to prevent tampering, and DMARC ties it together by telling providers what to do when checks fail, and by generating reports you can use to spot spoofing or misconfiguration. DMARC is still a competitive advantage because adoption remains surprisingly low. Roughly 33% of domains have a valid DMARC record, and only about 7.7% of top domains reportedly enforce the strictest reject policy. For outbound, that gap matters because providers and recipients alike are trained to distrust unauthenticated senders in a world where spam and phishing are constant. Implementation mistakes are usually boring but expensive. Missing a sending tool in SPF, failing DKIM for a subset of mailboxes, or publishing DMARC with no monitoring plan. Our practical approach is to start with DMARC in monitoring mode so you can collect reports, then tighten policy as you confirm all legitimate senders pass, and finally, standardize the configuration across every outbound domain used by your cold email agency workflow. If your domain reputation slips, every send more decision becomes a tax you pay in silence until the inbox shuts the door. The safest scaling model is simple. Ramp slowly, cap daily volume, and distribute sends across multiple authenticated mailboxes and domains. As a rule of thumb, new mailboxes often start around 5 to 10 cold emails per day, then warm toward 40 to 70 per day once engagement stabilizes. On the domain level, many teams stay under roughly 150 to 200 cold emails per day to avoid sudden reputation swings. This is where cold outreach differs from marketing blasts. Consistency and engagement matter more than raw throughput. If you spike volume, switch copy drastically, or rotate inboxes too aggressively, you can create irregular sending patterns that look suspicious, especially when you're also running LinkedIn outreach services and then pushing email follow-ups into the same personas. A frequent operational mistake is one mailbox to rule them all, where a single rep inbox becomes a high-volume cannon. If you need more capacity, scale horizontally by adding mailboxes and additional domains rather than cranking one identity until complaint rates rise above 0.3%. That mindset keeps your outreach legit and protects the broader organization from collateral damage. Mailbox providers reward engagement and punish waste. When your lists are clean and your targeting is tight, you earn replies and not spam behaviors that reinforce domain reputation. When your data is messy, you generate bounces, complaints, and dead air that erodes trust. This is why domain management and B2B list building services are inseparable in real-world outbound execution. The most common list-related mistakes are avoidable: sending to stale records, skipping role verification, and treating every industry the same. Segmentation by persona and vertical improves relevance, and relevance improves engagement, one of the strongest long-term inputs to inbox placement. If your team offers pay-per-appointment lead generation or runs a high-intensity outbound sales agency model, list standards need to be non-negotiable. We also recommend calibrating expectations to reality. Even good cold email performance depends on being seen in the first place. Benchmarks like 27.7% opens and 5.1% replies are attainable, but not if half your messages land in spam or if reputation problems cause invisible suppression. In practice, better targeting is often the cheapest deliverability fix you can buy. Domain management works when someone owns it and it shows up in weekly cadence, not when it's rediscovered during a crisis. We advise leaders to add deliverability metrics to the same SDR review where they already track meetings, SQLs, and conversion rates, because deliverability is upstream of everything else. Watch bounce rate, spam complaints, and trends by domain and mailbox before performance drops become visible. A key mistake is treating problems as copy issues when the real culprit is sender reputation. If complaint rates creep towards 0.3% or inbox placement softens, the fix is usually operational. Reduce volume, improve list quality, tighten segmentation, and stabilize sending patterns until engagement recovers. Tools like Google Postmaster, where available, help you spot reputation swings early instead of guessing based on open rates alone. This is also where systems beat heroics. Our team at SalesHive automates throttling by mailbox and domain, continuously validates lists, and tests messaging so engagement improves over time. An approach that fits whether you're a B2B sales agency scaling outbound or a company looking to outsource sales to a partner with deliverability discipline. The point is to make safe sending the default behavior, not a special project. Next steps: build a playbook and scale without burning domains. The future of outbound is stricter, not looser. Providers are standardizing around authentication, user-friendly unsubscribe experiences, and tight tolerance for complaints, which means casual cold email operations will keep getting filtered. If you want predictable meetings, treat domain management like you treat your cold calling services playbook: documented, trained, monitored, and continuously improved. Start by mapping every sending domain and what it's used for: cold, marketing, transactional. Then validate SPF, DKIM, and DMARC across each one. From there, define volume rules that match your team's maturity, warming new mailboxes from 5 to 10 daily toward 40 to 70, while keeping domain-level cold volume under about 150 to 200 per day unless you have a proven multi-domain scale model. Finally, institutionalize ownership. RevOps, Marketing Ops, or a deliverability lead should maintain the domain playbook, audit new tools that send email, and decommission compromised assets quickly. If you're running a blended outbound motion, email plus B2B cold calling services, telemarketing, or telesales, this discipline compounds because cleaner email reputation improves follow-up effectiveness across channels. The teams that win in 2026 and beyond won't be the loudest senders, they'll be the most trusted.